Good morning, boys and girls. It's Monday, May 18th. We're going to do something a little different today. I'm not going to have the Zoom call. Very few kids have turned out for that, so I was feeling like that's not a real popular thing. I decided to go ahead and film a video today. We're not to be giving any new work after Wednesday, so we just have one assignment this week, and I actually assigned it in Edge Elastic over the weekend. So it's been there. Some of you have actually done it already. But this video is going to go over that assignment and explain how to find the correct answers. And then this is probably going to be my last video. All right. We don't have any new work after Wednesday. Yeah, grades are due next Wednesday. All your work is due next Tuesday, May 26th at 3 o'clock. And then you won't have to bother with math anymore. Well, until fall, I have a couple of Pinterest posts. When you find out your daily lifestyle is actually called quarantine. My life's not that different, except for that I don't go to school, but otherwise, a side effect of quarantine, it's really hard to end phone calls. Twice today, I almost said, okay, I have to run, before I realized there's nowhere to run to. Yep. All right, so I'm going to hop over to Edge Elastic. Let me pause this for a second and open my Edge Elastic, and then we'll go through the questions that are on that assignment. Okay, so here we go. This is the first question of the assignment. This is practice F, volume of spheres. This here is the formula for the volume of a sphere. It is 4/3, it's always 4/3, times pi, times the radius cubed. That's a new one. We haven't used cubed yet, but spheres have pretty big volume, and that's how we find them. So first thing we have to do is identify the parts of the sphere formula. So here it's going to be blank formulas measure the amount of space occupied by a three-dimensional solid. Remember, we're doing volume formulas. They just tell us how much space is occupied. The V stands for, obviously, volume. The pi symbol represents pi, which equals about 3.14. And the R stands for radius. Okay, and the last one down here at the bottom, volume is measured in cubic units because we're cubing. Okay, so it's, cubic. And you write it with an exponent, a small 3, like that. Okay, so that would be the first question. The second question asks you to find the volume using 3.14 for pi. Okay, well, they've given you the radius is 9, so all you really have to do is plug this in a calculator. All right, let me show you how I would set this up. Over here, volume is equal to, and I would do 4/3. Pi, we're going to use 3.14. And the radius was given, it's 9, so we're going to have 9 to the third power. Now, you could just, if you've got one of those TI-30 calculators, you can just plug this in. I went ahead and figured out that 9 to the third power was 729. That escalated quickly. So if that helps you, you can go ahead and just, in your calculator, do 4/3 times 3.14 times 729. Okay. And we arrive at a volume of approximately 3,052.08. I rounded that, of course, but I think you can see that that's one of the answers. Okay. So let's go to the next problem. Okay. This one is asking you to find the volume and to express your answer in terms of pi. That means that we don't substitute 3.14 for pi in this one. We leave the pi symbol in there. Okay, so setting this one up, we're going to have our 4/3 that we always have for volume of a sphere. We're leaving pi in this time. And we have that the radius is 48. So we'll need to do 48 to the third power. Okay. Really what we need to do now is multiply 4/3 times 48 to the third power, and that will give us our answer. 48 to the third power is 110,592. but you don't need to write that. You just need to multiply that times 4/3. And the final answer for this, you plug it all in a calculator. See, I'm telling you, these numbers get really big really fast. And this would have been 3 times as big if we hadn't used pi as a symbol. Okay, so I think you can see that that one's over in the multiple choice list also. Okay, next question. This one, as always, there's a pattern here. The next question has given you diameter instead of radius. So the first thing you have to do is ask yourself, what is the radius of the sphere? Well, you can see that the diameter is 6. So the radius would be half of that, or 3. Okay. So in our volume formula, and we're going back to using 3.14 for pi, we will have 4/3, 3.14 for pi, and then the radius is 3 to the 3rd power. Now I know 3 to the 3rd power is 27. So in your calculator, you would do 4/3 times 3.14 times 27 equals. I've got this one worked out in advance. It is 11304. And it is one of the answers over here. It's down off the bottom. Okay. This is the last question on the assignment, and it gives you volume and asks you to find radius. Okay, so we've got a volume. They've given us the volume of 7,234.56. Okay, that's volume. So instead of the V, I write that amount. Equals, it's always 4/3. They told us to use 3.14 for pi. And the radius is the thing we don't know. So we have radius cubed. Okay. Now, what I would do, I don't know if you remember this from fractions, but we need to divide both sides by whatever this number is. Okay. So I'm going to divide this number by 3.14, and I'm going to multiply it by 3/4. If you remember fractions, you might remember that multiplying by the reciprocal is the same as dividing. It's running off the screen there. Oh. If not, you could multiply 4/3 times 3.14 and get a single number, and then divide this number by that number. We end up with an answer here of 1728 is equal to the radius cubed. Okay. Once you do all that math. And then you look over here and you go, well, that's not one of the choices. Miss Williamson, you don't know what you're talking about. But remember, that's r cubed, not r. So in your calculator, you will need to go in and find the cube root of 1,728. And it's 12. It's 12 times 12 times 12. Okay. So that's how you do the problems on this assignment. This is your last assignment for this school year. And I hope that you work very hard and get all your stuff in. I will be reaching out to you guys over the next week and a half. Well, maybe the next week, trying to get you to turn your work in. Remember, all work is due by next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Okay, because I've got to submit grades after that. Well, it's been great being your teacher, and I have really enjoyed learning how to do this video stuff too, although I've missed you all desperately. I hope to see you again. Feel free to stop in sometime. Okay, have a great summer.